Welcome to the show. It's a daytime vibe, DC purple, let the positivity drive. Catching up on the highlights, what's new, what's real, flowing through the moments, that's our ideal. Grab your drink, let's unwind. In this space, good time find. Daytime pop-up, we're loud and we're free. With DCT, the purple diva, cup with me, catching all the good. In this vibrant space, join the fun, come on now, let's embrace. Stories from our lives and the world around. Pop-up chat, hear the joy, feel the sound. From laughter to lessons, all wrapped in a beat. Tune in, stay close, let's vibe on this street. See the love, feel the flow. With every second, watch us glow. Daytime pop-up, we're live and we're free. With DCT's and purple diva, pop with me, catching all the good. In this vibrant space, join the fun, come on now, let's embrace. Together we rise, thanks for coming by. In this daytime pop-up, we reach for the stars.
Hola, from the west side. I'm back, y'all. I'm sorry I was gonna let me pull the mic closer so y'all can hear me. Hey, 1SP, my brother in Christ. It is good to see you. It is good to see you instead of seeing you in replay when I'm watching you on your channel. By the way, those who are in the replay, if you want to get some good common sense, but talking about Jesus, go check out my friend 1SP, the official 1SP. Okay. All right, let me take down my little cover my screen that I have to put up there. All right, now y'all can see me, my avatar. And, I'm not on camera because, on the daytime pop-ups, I am working. But just in case y'all y'all think I'm unpresentable, I can show you what I look like, and then I'm going to go back off camera. There I am. See? I'm in my work mode, and the reason that I can't come on camera is because I'm wearing my glasses for work, and you could see my work computer. So yeah, we can't do that. We can't do that. All right, so I'm gonna go back off camera, but this is just so y'all know that I'm not just an avatar up here. I'm a person. I'm not an avatar. Hold on. Okay, there we go. So anyway, I had to jump off of it very quickly earlier because I had to go into a meeting, um, because I'm at work. But I was really kinda talking about some of the things. I think I left off where I was giving some more thoughts in regards to, the popping of Charlie Kirk last week. And as I said last week, and as I'll say now, I am neither a Democrat or Republican. I am a independent voter because I don't think either party has my best interest, you know, in I don't think they have my best interest. I don't consider myself to be liberal, and I don't think that I'm the same kind of conservative that the folk who say that they're Republicans are, but I'm conservative about some things and I am moderate about most things. So I'm in the middle. That, that's where I am. But I am first and foremost a believer. And as a believer, it's not up to me to decide whether that young man was truly a saved Christian because unfortunately in this country, there are a lot of people who say that they are Christian, but the things that they do don't align with being a Christian, which is why I generally say that I am a believer. And to be honest, the original church, they didn't call themselves Christian. That's something that came up out of Rome, the Roman Empire, when people were being, you know, thrown into the Colosseum and having to fight for their lives against lions because they dared to be followers of Yeshua. So it's, dare I say, the Europeans that brought that term into existence, but the early church did not call themselves Christians. They called themselves, you know, believers and followers of Jesus or Yeshua because, you know, Jesus is English. In his time, he was called Yeshua. Okay? But getting back to Charlie Kirk, it's not up to me to decide whether that young man was a Christian or not. If he says he was a Christian, that's between him and God. But I will say that I didn't agree with a lot of the things that he says because they were so hateful. And to me, and in my opinion, that's not of God. That's not of God to me. But I know that there is this movement of quote unquote national Christians, and their Christianity is not the same Christianity or the same believing that I have, and which is and it's insane that we have people moving to make Christianity the national faith when the whole reason that this country, one of the reasons that this country was founded was because people ran here because of religious persecution. And this country is known for having freedom of religion. I mean, you even have them allowing the Church of Satan to be a religion and to be able to file under nonprofit status as a 501c, a 501c. Yeah, yeah, that part. So I am a believer in the Most High. I believe that I follow the one and only true God. But with that being said, I have no right to force my beliefs onto someone else. I mean, are we in the Crusades? Is this the Crusades coming back to life? Is that what we're doing? We're going to persecute people who don't believe the way that you believe, because that's going to also involve a lot of people who call themselves Christian like me, because we don't believe the way that you believe, because a lot of what this national Christian is very palm colored centered. But I'd like you to name one person in the Old Testament and New Testament that is prominent that was European. I'll wait. I'll wait. Even the King James Bible, which is what a lot of believers use, doesn't try to depict them that way, because we know they aren't. We know that the people in the Bible were on the continent of Africa and in what we call the Middle East today. So they were definitely all people of color. Now I'm just going to leave it at that, and I'm going to just leave it alone right there. Okay. But with that being said, no one has the right to force their religion on someone in this country. And with this country being a country that was founded, it was founded on Christian principles, but there's a freedom of religion, which means you do not have to be a Christian to be American. You can worship a pineapple if that's who you choose or what you choose to be your God. I know that's a ridiculous analogy, but I'm just proving a point here. So I know I just went down a whole rabbit hole, but all I'm saying is, with that being said, regardless of my feelings about what this young man was saying, and I call him a young man because he was a year older than my son. So clearly to me, he was a very young man, a baby. He was born in the 90s, to put it perspective. He was born in the 90s. So regardless of whether I disagreed with what he was spewing out there, which to me was hatred, he had a right to say what he wanted to say. under the First Amendment to the US Constitution. And being able to say what he had to say is not something that he should have been pow for. So it's crazy to me that there's people out there rejoicing. Now, I understand being indifferent to it because that's, you know, kind of where I am. I pray for the family, but you know, the way that his widow came out here was just some of the things that she said were just so disgusting to me because she made it seem like he was a perfect Christian, and nobody's a perfect Christian. There's not one out there. And many people disagreed with some of the things that he was saying. But did he deserve to not be here because of what he was saying? I don't think so. And rumor has it that he was starting to change his course. And there were some people that allegedly that didn't like it. Of course, because there's all these conspiracies. But I think that's bizarre. You know, this this was someone who, like him, grew up in a Republican home, and from what we can see, was part of had been part of the MAGA movement, but he was more extreme or had been listening to more extreme stuff. But this was not someone from the quote unquote left. It appears that what we're starting to see after this happened, unfortunately, is that there's a lot of cracks and division within the Republican Party, specifically within the quote unquote MAGA Republicans. Now, I don't know, y'all. You tell me. You tell me. Because they keep trying to push it towards other groups. You know, I feel that what happened to that young man in Mississippi at Delta State University was to try to trigger Black Americans to jump into this stuff, but we're not doing that. This whole situation is a palm colored situation. Stop trying to pull everyone else into it. Stop trying to pull everyone else into it. You know, there's other things that we need to be worrying about. Things that they're trying to sneak through over there in my hometown of DC, why everybody's worried about blaming someone in regards to what's going on with, you know, this whole Charlie Kirk situation and the aftermath. Because now we see people trying to fight to take over and get that following that he had for themselves. So So it's gonna be interesting, but the way that his widow came across in her speech when she quote unquote broke her silence was like she's gonna continue to push that, make sure that that hate speech continues to be given to young people. Why would you want to do that? And you're only and it's only one demographic, and you're telling the rest, and you're telling them that the rest of their generation that don't look like them are the problem. But it was someone who looked like them that are unalive this man. Because outside of Salt Lake City, we're generally not over there. I mean, we're less than 2% of the population in the state of Utah. And it's no matter how they try to shift this, everything is pointing to this came from within. But I really think you should just move on. You have someone who we're told is the one who did it. You're not indicating that there's anyone else. So what are we doing? What are we doing? Why are we still on this while there's so much more going on in this country? Because right now, our country is just completely falling apart. And yes, we need to pray for the country. We need to pray for the president. We need to pray for all involved. But America needs to repent for all of its arrogancy and for and the things, the sins of our past, including the worst form of slavery ever. And they don't seem to get that, you know, they don't seem to understand. Mm, You know, and people who have lost, rather, our federal government, our government has lost sight of what is best for the people. And they're simply doing the bidding of the president, whether it's in their best interest or the people of the country's best interest or our children's best interest or our children's best interest or the generations to come. And they're going to figuratively die on that sword because something has to change. Something has to change in this country, you know, because as much as, you have certain people pushing out that this is a quote unquote Christian country. No, it's not. It's as a country, we don't even believe in the Most High as a country. So, and I'm not saying we're the only country out there, but we seem to be the loudest and proudest of of everything that we've done. We have no, our country has a seared conscience when it comes to the things that we as a country have done. A seared conscience when it comes to that. which is sad. It's truly sad because we haven't learned from the mistakes of our ancestors as a country. We just continue to repeat the same mistakes. And doing the same thing over and over is the definition of insanity. So, yeah, and doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. That's the full that's the full statement. Yeah. So, that's where we've been. And it's and yeah, so within the Republican Party, there's a lot of division now that this young man is gone, and they're looking out and they're trying to put it on everyone but themselves. They want to blame everything but themselves. I'm just saying, from where I can see, this was all from within. And all of these conspiracy theories about other stuff, it's just that. Conspiracy theories and distractions. And one of the main people out there doing that kind of stuff is this girl, his best buddy, if you believe her, Candace Owens. Hmm. Her. So I'm just like, okay, are you his friend or his girlfriend? Are you his work girlfriend? Maybe she's his work girlfriend because she was talking the way she was talking about, you know, him wearing suits and him packing stuff this way and everything. It was just, yeah, that's wifey kind of talk. And aren't you married? He was definitely married to someone who looked like him. So I don't, what? Anyway, but she's the biggest one out there with the conspiracy theories, all over her Twitter, you know. So we're just gonna have to see what goes on with that. Um, I talked about the nonsense here on the platform when I was on earlier, with folk, with all of these older folk or older women hanging out over in Lemon's chat. They're crazy. And he's so disrespectful to some people. I mean, anyway, I don't see how anybody, I don't know, I guess y'all don't have a life to be on all night long. I can't do it. Now, I used to come on late, well, late, not really late for the West Coast, like, 9-ish. And I, you know, just do my little peaceful chat. I did that a lot when I was trying to get my hours. And I think I did a couple of hours long, but y'all doing them hours long things on a regular basis? Ooh, no, I'm good. I'm so good on that. But I'm gonna get ready to get out of here. I just wanted to come back and finish up my thoughts from earlier. Um, I hopefully will be back on later on this week. I do have some other content that I will be dropping on both of my channels because this is my simulcast that I'm doing on the on DC the Purple Diva and on the Purple Diva Den. I am going to be dropping that spoken word on the Purple Diva Den. I'm trying to do it by Friday. I just have to finish my editing, and I will be dropping some more autism tips in the form of a short here on DC the Purple Diva. So both of my channels. But I'm gonna get out of here, you guys. I will be back this week, and I hope. I'm just gonna change it to the non-instrumental version of it. So I'm gonna get out of here, but I offer you guys peace and blessings from the West Side, and I'll see y'all in these YouTube streets, and more content to come. More content to come. I'm out, you guys. Peace. Bye.
Grab your drink, let's unwind. In this space, good time find. Daytime pop up, we're live and we're free with DCT the